And in business news, latest Manufacturers Association of Nigeria's first quarter survey shows that CEO's confidence index increased by 1.7 percentage points. The first quarter of 2024 from 51.8 points in the fourth quarter of 2023. This was revealed at a presentation of the association's quarterly report in Lagos. Report shows that major performance indicators of the manufacturing sector all recorded favorable changes, reading above 50 basis points, indicating that expectations for economic expansion, while an index score of less than 50 suggests that the deterioration in the operating environment. Current business conditions rose to 46.2% in the first quarter of 2024 from 44.7 points in the fourth quarter of 2023, while business conditions expectations for the third quarter is projected to increase to 59.2 points.
While man understand the reason behind the MC decision, it is very crucial for the committee to thoroughly assess the potential and impact of the risk sector and the multiplier effect on the nation. Collaborating with physical authorities is essential to reinforce the sector's traditional role in driving significant employment, heightened productivity, steady forex earnings, and sustained economic progress. It is notable that the strategy of raising the monetary policy rate, MPR, has persisted for nearly 2 years without yielding positive results. Man had hoped that the Central Bank of Nigeria will explore alternative measures, particularly in addressing the underlying causes of inflation, primarily cost-push factors.
Customs Federal Operations Unit Zone A has issued a stern warning against economic sabotage, urging Nigerians to verify vehicle documents before making purchases. The warning comes as the unit showcases a remarkable 203 seizures of contraband items valued at 2.2 billion naira. TVC News senior business correspondent Ifunanya Eze reports.
Comptroller Kola Oladeji underscores the gravity of the situation as he displays over 27 smuggled vehicles impounded within the zone in just 5 weeks.
It doesn't have any paper. You want to ride this in Nigeria, we are still going to pick you. So it's penny wise, pound foolish. And that's why we advise people that want to procure vehicles for their use, confirm from any customs formation that is this vehicle, is it genuinely brought in before you buy it, and what are their papers. We will do it free. Just go to any PRO of any command. They cannot collect 1 naira from you. And they will say, Oga, from this paper you brought to, with your chassis number, this one is a smuggled vehicle. We don't need to see it.
Alongside these vehicles, the command also seized bales of second-hand clothes, sacks of cannabis sativa, and a staggering 10,372 bags of foreign parboiled rice, equivalent to 17 trucks. Highlighting the ingenuity of smugglers, he warns of the various means of conveyance used to transport contraband items, emphasizing the command's readiness to combat economic sabotage.
You can imagine the amount of dollars they must have used to bring this quantity into the country. So they're the ones chasing dollars here and there. At whatever price they see, they buy because they want to use the dollars to go and engage themselves in smuggling activities. They're going to have tough time, more tough time. Not only losing their money, but we will be making effort to arrest them and be prosecuting them.
Additionally, Comptroller Oladeji discloses the arrest of 20 suspects connected to the seizures and the recovery of over 813 million naira through demand notices. Ifunanya Eze, TVC News, Lagos.
The nation's stock market has again kicked its trading figures in the positive direction, following renewed interest in equities by investors. The market index measuring price movements increased by 0.53%, showing gains on investments. The biggest gainers was Dangote Sugar with 10%. Others in the bracket include Nascon, Morrison PZ, and Transcorp. The trade losers were Sovereign Insurance, Universal Insurance, TIP, WAPCO, and African Prudential Insurance. Asian shares streamed higher today while the dollar remained on the back foot for a third straight session, as heightened expectations of an imminent European rates cut helped whet risk appetite. Europe is set for a slightly higher and stronger open, with Euro Stock 50 futures up 0.2%, building on gains overnight after a deal of a European Central Bank officials said the ECB had room to lower interest rates as inflation slows. S&P 500 futures rose 0.1%, Nasdaq futures gained 0.2%, MSCI's broadest index of Asian Pacific shares outside Japan rose 0.2% after a 0.9% increase on Monday, while Taiwanese shares climbed 0.5% to record high. Hong Kong Hang Seng Index trimmed some earlier gains to be up 0.1%, and Japan's Nikkei, on the other hand, slipped 0.2%, reversing some of the 0.7% advance a day ago. Moving out again, Japan's net external assets rose to 471.3 trillion yuan, that's about $3 trillion in 2023, increasing for a sixth straight year as a weak yuan and overseas corporate acquisition boosted the value of a foreign assets. According to the ministry, the country retained its position as the world top creditor, followed by Germany with 454.8 trillion of net external assets, and China with 412.7 trillion yuan as at the end of 2023. A weak yuan coupled with rise in direct investments overseas helps Japan post a 51 trillion yuan annual increase in the value of net external assets held by Japanese government, businesses and individuals. Gross external assets stood at 1.48 trillion yuan and external debt came to 1.01 trillion yuan. And finally, in business news, crude oil prices edged up in Asia today, extending gains from the previous session, boosted by expectations of strong fuel demand from the U.S. during the summer and ahead of an output policy decision from OPEC Plus at the June 2nd meeting. U.S. West Texas intermediate crude rose to sell at $78.76 per barrel with an uptick of 1.34%. Brent also experienced an upward price margin of 0.01% to sell at $83.11 per barrel. And for the Bonny Light, it is up 0.17%, selling for $80.95 per barrel. For the OPEC basket, dealers are offering $81.92 with a decline of 0.59%.